세상 둥글둥글 사세 아리아리랑 스리스리랑 아라리가 났네 아리랑 아라리가 났네 천천 하늘엔 잔별도 많고 우리네 가슴 속엔 희망도 많다 아리아리랑 스리스리랑 아라리가 났네 아리랑 아라리가 났네 노다가세 노다가세 천다린 나치도록 노다가세 아리아리랑 스리스리랑 아라리가 났네 아리랑 아라리가 났네 만정하에 눈을 배 어디여차 어야디여다 노를 져라 아리아리랑 스리스리랑 아라리가 났네 아리랑 아라리가 났네
Millennial and Gen Zs are reshaping the world. News generation shares their fresh perspectives on what's trending now. From global developments to everyday culture, we're diving into the stories that matter. This is News Generation. from all over the world. Local consumer prices continue to hover at the 2% rate in April.
Turning to robots to allow the visually impaired the chance to better indulge in cultural experiences. Like the number of hybrid cars are registered in South Korea has surpassed 2 million with this locally developed Yuri rocket.
Arirang.
안녕하세요. Riding on the Korean wave. Welcome to Tuesday's edition of The Culture Wave. I'm Kwon So-wa in Seoul. Explore with us Korea's culture from all aspects and stay up to date with K-entertainment, K-meditation, K-sports, K-everything. And we're going to do all of that together with our co-host Walter Lee joining me in the studio. Hello, Walter.
Hello, Soa, and hello to our viewers at home. Walter Lee here to co-host alongside Soa and give you the latest in K-Enter news.
Let's get started with that. Our one and only Walter Lee, what do you have in the world of K-entertainment?
What do I have for you indeed? So we start off with a donation from K-actor power couple Hyunbin and Son Ye-jin. Now, the couple donated 200 million Korean won, which is roughly just over 139,000 US dollars to support patients in need of medical assistance. Now, the donation will be used to cover treatment costs for pediatric and adolescent patients at Samsung Medical Center, as well as low-income patients and who are facing financial hardships. Now, the couple shared that they hope the donation can be a small help to patients undergoing treatment and their families. Now, the couple have consistently made donations each year, including support for medical care, sharing warmth with neighbors in need. Now, in South Korea, the phrase neighbors in need commonly refers to individuals who require social welfare support and is widely used by charitable organizations and community programs.
And Walter, let's stay on the topic of Hyunbin and talk about one of his recent series.
Yes, we actually talked about it recently as well. So the Disney Plus series Made in Korea, starring Hyunbin and also Chung Woo-sung, has become one of the most talked about titles of the year, and both domestically and internationally. Now, according to a global OTT rankings platform, Made in Korea topped the Disney Plus TV series chart in 4 regions. That's South Korea, Taiwan, Japan, and also Hong Kong. Now, as of Sunday local time, 4 days after it actually premiered. Now, the story is set in South Korea during the turbulent 1970s. The series centers on Baek Ki-tae, a man who leads a double life as a government agent by day and a smuggler by night. Now, in his ruthless pursuit for wealth and power. And Jang Gon-young, a prosecutor played by Chung Woo-sung, determined to cut off his ambitions and cut them very short indeed.
And lastly, we have an exciting new dystopian film coming out.
Dystopian is a great word to use there. Now, it's called Boy, and it follows a group of characters, each carrying their own emotional wounds as they navigate growth and change. Now, actor Cho Byung-gyu anchors the story with a nuanced portrayal of youth caught between uncertainty and hope. And also, Yoo In-soo brings raw intensity to a character struggling in life, while So In-guk adds weight and depth, grounding the film with his commanding presence. Now, their individual strengths blend seamlessly, creating a strong on-screen chemistry. Now, Boy offers a realistic portrayal of the imperfections of youth and the defining moments of a choice. Now, it is set for a theatrical release on January 14th, 2026.
Oh boy, sounds like a movie to look out for in the new year.
Indeed it does.
Thank you very much, Walter, for those updates, and stick around.
Will do.
And now let's turn to our AI anchor Arirang for more on the culture front. Arirang?
Hello and welcome to your AI guide to the latest cultural updates from Korea. Here's our top story. Korea's webtoon industry posted sales of more than 2 trillion won for the second consecutive time last year. According to a webtoon industry survey released by the Culture Ministry and the Korea Creative Content Agency, last year's total revenue is estimated at around 2.29 trillion won, or roughly $1.6 billion, up more than 4% from 2023. By export market, Japan accounted for nearly half of the total, followed by North America, Greater China, Southeast Asia, and Europe. Amid rising global interest in traditional Korean culture, sales of cultural merchandise at the National Museum of Korea have hit an all-time high. According to the National Museum Foundation of Korea, annual sales of the museum's merchandise mutes are provisionally estimated to have exceeded 40 billion won, or roughly $28 million. This is the first time sales have reached this level since the foundation was established in 2004. Mutes, a word combining the words museum and goods, features cultural products inspired by collections from the National Museum of Korea, such as jewelry modeled after Silla Air gold crowns and a miniature of the pensive Bodhisattva. The Yeongdong Dried Persimmon Festival is set to return in January next year. The Yeongdong County in Chungcheongbuk-do Province will host the 2026 Dried Persimmon Festival from January 30th for 3 days along the Yeongdong Stream. Co-organized by the Yeongdong Festival Tourism Foundation and the Yeongdong Dried Persimmon Association, the event will offer visitors a chance to sample some of Korea's highest quality dried persimmons and buy them at discounted prices. Notably, this year's festival expanded hands-on programs in partnership with the Yeongdong Traditional Market to draw foot traffic into nearby local businesses. Yeongdong is one of Korea's major persimmon-producing regions. That's all from me. Stay tuned to the Culture Wave.
With just over a month to go until the 2026 Winter Olympics in Italy, interest in winter sports is heating up. At the same time, as many look for ways to reflect and reset for the new year, a unique program is offering a blend of both, a so-called curling temple stay. An Sung-jin has the story.
Along Korea's east coast, overlooking the East Sea, Naksansa Temple has long drawn visitors seeking a pause from everyday life, a place for retreat and reflection.
Whenever I feel down, I often return to temple stays because they offer some healing and a chance to look at the natural landscape.
Since it's the end of the year, I wanted to wrap up the year well, stepping away from everyday life, so I came here with a friend.
Naksansa's Temple Stay program includes a guided tour of the temple grounds and the iconic 해수관음상, a statue gazing out toward the sea. Visitors can also take part in traditional meditation programs such as tea meditation, which emphasizes mindfulness through ritual, and singing bowl meditation, known for its calming vibrations. But this winter, Naksansa Temple is offering something entirely new. Now, the Naksansa Temple stay has gone beyond a conventional stay, creating a unique curling temple stay that combines the excitement of winter sports with a traditional monastic experience. Curling, often described as chess on ice, shares similarities with meditation in that they both bring the mind into focus while caring for the body.
It's thrilling and fun, especially sliding across the ice, even though it's a bit slippery. Through this temple stay, I got to try curling, visit the temple, and meet so many new people.
The initiative aims to broaden the appeal of temple stays while offering a fresh way to explore balance, focus, and teamwork beyond the meditation hall.
As temple stays become increasingly connected with the wellness industry, we're also expanding our programs in partnership with the local community. Our goal is to design programs that allow participants to truly experience the temple culture and take time to rest.
Naksansa Temple is redefining what a temple stay can be. The temple's new program invites visitors to discover balance in an unexpected place, where Buddhist philosophy meets winter sports. An Sung-jin, Arirang News, 속초.
Time for our K-Sports highlights. But as we are wrapping up the year, not just the events of the past couple of weeks, but the top K-Sports issues that made the headlines in the entire year of 2025. Our sportscaster Jason Lee has them all. Welcome back, Jason.
Hello, Jason.
Good afternoon.
All right, Jason. So as we put a bow on the year 2025, how did you think the year 2025 was for Korea in sports?
Yeah, I think it was pretty positive overall. Of course, there weren't any major international sporting events in the year 2025. But of course, we're going to have the Winter Olympics, World Baseball Classic, as well as the World Cup of Soccer coming up in 2026. So I think 2026 is kind of more the year to look forward to. And hopefully they'll have a lot of good results in the year to come for Korean sports teams in particular. But I would say 2025, I think there certainly were a lot of positives and a very interesting year in its own way.
Right, and I mean, I'm actually quite surprised that you say that we didn't really have major events, because every second week when you came in, everything sounded so interesting that I thought, oh, 2025 probably was a year full of big events, but it makes us look forward to 2026.
That's just my passion for sports.
Of course. And but we did have some highlights, of course, right, Walter?
Yes, well, actually, there was one, and I think I already know the answer to this. I'm not pleased as a Manchester United fan, but we might be talking about a certain Korean soccer player as what you would say is probably the biggest Korean sports story of the year, you would say, maybe?
Yeah, I'd say, I think if looking back on 2025, certainly, you know, Son Heung-min is obviously the biggest athletic star in Korea, and his transition from Tottenham to LAFC, I think, was probably the biggest story. I guess you could say a positive that he's out of the league and no longer competing against Manchester United from your perspective, however. Yes. But yeah, he's no longer with the Hotspurs. He spent 11 years there, and during that time, up until this season, never won any hardware, didn't win any trophies of any sort. But of course, this year, even without Harry Kane on the team and struggling for much of the year with the injuries, a little bit of wear and tear all season long, but Son Heung-min finally led Tottenham to the Europa Cup, a moment that really cemented him as one of the greatest Hotspur players ever. Of course, he was the captain of the team as well. So not only to be able to win a cup with the team, but to be the captain of the team, first person to go and hoist the cup up in front of the team and to be really seen as the leader of the squad. I think he's going to clearly be known as one of the greatest Hotspurs ever.
Right, that was a huge celebration for fans, but actually the celebrations didn't last long there, because Son shortly after moved to LAFC. So that was quite a surprise to many, just shortly after lifting the cup for Tottenham.
Yeah, the utopia certainly didn't last very long. You know, there'd been rumblings all season of a possible transfer, and LAFC was always the team that was most mentioned when the rumor mill was churned. But yeah, I have to admit that I was actually quite surprised when the news actually hit. But, you know, after digesting it, I think it made a lot of sense. And Son had a great second half, leading LAFC to the semifinals as well. I think Tottenham got 20 million pounds in terms of the transfer fee that they probably don't get a year or two later. Son goes and has a great career in front of a great large Korean population in LA as well, one of the fan favorites there. And certainly I think everything's kind of worked out so far.
It certainly feels like a closing of a chapter and the opening of another for Son. And I mean, by judging from his impact during the last months, it really didn't take him that long to justify this move.
Absolutely.
And now moving to our next topic, Jason, what would you say was the #2 big sporting event?
I would say if 2025, I have to go with the emergence of An Hyun-min, who won Rookie of the Year in the KBO this past season. You know, 2024, it was all about Kim Do-young's breakout with the Kia Tigers. He won MVP, hitting 38 home runs, stealing 40 bases, batting like .335 or something. But 2025, it was An Hyun-min's arrival. I mean, An is actually also 22 years old, just like Kim Do-young. He's actually maybe a month and a bit older than Kim Do-young, despite being a rookie this year, while Kim Do-young just completed his 4th season, albeit a short year that was filled with a lot of injuries. But An Hyun-min, who plays right field for KT, was an absolute monster. He hit .334 with 22 home runs in just 112 games. And what impressed me even more about An was that in the exhibition series in Japan, he homered 2 more times in those 2 games. And you could easily see that the Japanese pitchers, they were not willing to throw to him beyond those 2 home runs that he hit. They were scared of him, and for good reason, because he had a monster year. You could tell by his swing that this guy is a hitting machine. And I really think that there'd been a bit of a lull in terms of up-and-coming Korean baseball players over the last few years. And I think now, looking at the arrival of An Hyun-min and Kim Do-young, having them emerge, I think it shows some more possibilities in the future that Korean baseball can still improve, especially on the international level. I think also looking back on this year from a KBO perspective, I should also mention that Hanwha's Cody Ponce had a season for the ages, league-leading 17-1 record, a 1.89 ERA, and a KBO record 252 strikeouts. Of course, he was signed by the Toronto Blue Jays on a 3-year, $30 million contract, so he will not be returning to the KBO, but we certainly wish him the best of luck in Toronto and Major League Baseball. And we've got to remember that if Cody Ponce goes on to have a good season or a good career in Major League Baseball, that actually lifts the image of the KBO as well, because Major League teams are going to look at what he did in Korea, and the fact that he can translate that to a good season in Major League Baseball, that's going to bring the respect of the KBO up that much more, and Major League teams will continue to look to Korea to scout players. So although Cody Ponce is leaving after such a great year, I think he can actually help out the league if he succeeds in Major League Baseball as well.
Great achievement and a win-win situation for both Korea and for KBO and KBO and MLB, of course.
And Cody Ponce as well.
Yes.
Yeah. And sticking to the subject of moving from KBO to MLB, let's talk about Song Sung-moon, right? So he recently signed with the San Diego Padres. How does that rank for you this year?
Yeah, I think that was actually a very significant move, certainly for the KBO and for players, similar to what I was talking about with Cody Ponce, because with every other KBO player that's made the jump to Major League Baseball through the posting process, we've kind of known that they were going to probably make it in Major League Baseball years in advance. We saw that with guys like Lee Jung-hoo. We've seen that with Kim Ha-sung and Kim Hae-sung. But I think much like we're talking about with An Hyun-min and Kim Do-young possibly making the move in a few years down the road, this is the kind of image that has been a KBO player moving over to Major League Baseball up until now with Son Sung-moon, because Son Sung-moon has always been an average player. And then he's kind of been a late bloomer these last 2 years, and even the last 2 years, it's not like we're talking Park Byung-ho MVP years. They were just kind of solid all-star seasons. So for him to get the contract that he got from the Padres, 4 years at $15 million, I think this is showing that the perception of Korean players is changing. And if he can go on to have a solid season in Major League Baseball, perhaps even a solid Major League Baseball career, I think that this could really open the door for a lot of players that might not have considered a Major League career. And this changes the perception also for Korean prospects coming out of high school, because a lot of the top players have been signing with Major League Baseball players rather than going through the Korean KBO draft. And I can honestly say that, Cho Won-bin, he really hasn't done much since then. Other players that have gone through Major League Baseball, none of them have really succeeded. I think we can go back all the way to Chu Shin-soo. that's been the last one to really make a name going early on at that age. So the fact that you have a guy like Song Sung-moon that, you know, had an average career and then after becoming a late bloomer, he signed to a major league contract. I think it gives younger Koreans hope that, look, I can go to the KBO, I can go through this system, do my time here, develop my skills, and I can still dream of a major league career later on, rather than having to try to do so at such a young age.
All right, and all of that makes us even wonder how 2026 will turn out for the KBO and the MLB next year. But let's move on to a different sports now, Walter.
Yes, let's talk about golf now. Now, remember the Korean ladies got off to a great start in 2025 after sort of a difficult 2024. How did they go overall for this year, do you think?
Yeah, as you mentioned, the season opening tournament was won by a Korean, and it was a great year overall for Koreans, claiming 6 different LPGA tournaments of the year. Of course, starting off with Kim Ah-rim, Kim Yo-ju, Ryu Hye-ran, Hwang Yu-min, Kim Se-young, and as well as the duo of Lee So-mi and Im Jin-hee, each claimed victories in 2025. And if you factored in second-generation Koreans like myself that might be nationalities in other countries, but, you know, born of Korean heritage, you can add 4 more victories. So Koreans, Korean heritage, did very well in the LPGA. Interestingly, none of the Koreans ever won more than just once, and none of them actually finished in the rank of the top 5 in the end of the season rankings, although 5 Koreans ranked from 6th to 11th, so they're right there in the hunt for the season end. But a solid year overall. Hopefully, one of those ladies can ascend perhaps a little bit higher up in 2026, though, with maybe multiple victories or winning a couple of majors, maybe.
Let's hope so. And last but not least, Jason, there were also some retirement announcements of big athletes in 2025. Who were those?
Absolutely. Actually, several very big-name athletes have announced their retirements. Oh Seung-hwan, nicknamed the final boss, longtime closer for the Samsung Lions, had a couple seasons closing for the St. Louis Cardinals as well. Park Byung-oh, who's a 2-time KBO MVP, who led the league in home runs 6 times, also played for the Minnesota Twins for a year. Kim Yeon-kyung, Korea's greatest volleyball player ever. She's embarking on a TV career lately as well. And one of the best volleyball players at her height all around the world as well. Also, former national team captain in terms of soccer, Gu Ja-chul, also retired at the start of 2025. Very sad to see him go, actually. He was one of my favorite players, certainly on that Olympic squad in 2012 that went on to win the bronze medal. So, you know, as we retire the year 2025, we hope for great results from the many international competitions in 2026. So a happy new year to both of you, as well as the national teams in all the major competitions coming up.
Right, fighting to Team Korea for all of the sports that we talked about this year and that we are going to talk about in 2026. Now, before we let you go, I just wanted to mention that we're probably going to see you more often next year with also those big events every week. So looking forward to that, and Happy New Year, Jason.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of sports in the coming year, so I look forward to being here a lot more too.
Fantastic. And thank you, Walter, as always. We're going to see you one more day in this year, so see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you for spending the past half an hour with us on the Culture Wave. Please join us again tomorrow on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Korea time, and maybe one day here in Korea.
Gyeongju, a city that holds 1,000 years of history. The cherished values, preserved over time, have shaped who we are today. Now, through new encounters, we step into a better future. Sustainability, innovation. With the spirit of connection, a new millennium story begins. As APEC and Gyeongju come together. APEC meets Gyeongju.
We're here to bring a new type of news show.
New insight, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bringing news just for you is Tuesday, December 30th here in Seoul. I'm Lee Soo-jin, and this is News Generation. Joining us today is Ki.
Good morning.
Good morning, and also Grace is with us.
Great to be here.
Great to have you. And both are here to speak on behalf of people in their 20s and 30s. So it's the second day of the final week of 2025, and we're continuing our year-end reflection on the issues that have shaped our society and the lives of young people over the past year. So today's topic is one that almost everyone has strong opinions about, and it's a conversation that can easily go on for hours. So, Ki, do you find that more people around you are getting married, planning families, or have recently gone through life changes?
Well, pretty much at my age, all my friends are pretty much married. Yet, I've definitely noticed a recent increase because I've been receiving many more requests to host a wedding.
I see.
And first birthday celebrations. And I've been to a lot of wedding ceremonies. As a matter of fact, just last weekend, I've been to 3 of them, and I've hosted 2 of them.
3 in 1 week? That sounds long.
Yeah.
Have you seen this happen as well?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have a lot of friends who are already married with children, like he said, as well as couples who are planning to get married and have kids soon. And you know, we always hear about how South Korea's birth rates has hit rock bottom. But honestly, when I go to my doctor for my regular pregnancy checkups, there's always a minimum hour wait, and there are so many patients at the clinic. I also recently called the postpartum center, actually, that I'm supposed to stay at after giving birth. And I wanted to extend my stay from 2 weeks to 3, but then I heard that they're not able to accommodate me because there are so many new moms waiting, like on the waiting list, waiting for cancellation. So. Yeah, the answer was no.
Wow, that's such an interesting contrast. So on paper, we hear about record low birth rates, but on the ground, your experience obviously tells a very different story. So we're going to dive deeper into this topic, but first, let's take a look at the screen. South Korea has long been known for struggling with one of the world's lowest birth rates. But this year, we're starting to see signs of change with births gradually ticking up. That shift comes as marriages are also on the rise, hinting at a possible turning point. Today on News Generation, we take a closer look at a low birth rate country at a crossroads. What's different about marriage and birth trends in 2025? What's driving this momentum, and what needs to change in 2026 to keep it going? As we just saw in the video, South Korea may be seeing early signs of a demographic shift, with both marriages and births edging up this year. For a country long defined by record low birth rates, even small movements can feel significant. So when we look at the latest numbers, are we actually seeing signs of change this year, Ki?
Sure, it's actually surprising. South Korea's number of newborns has been increasing for 16 consecutive months. In particular, births in September surpassed 22,000, 2000, marking the highest figure since 2020. The total fertility rate has also rebounded from a record low of 0.72 in 2023 to